Nothing spoils your appetite, does it?
Nothing.
Just have a cast iron stomach, Frankie.
Better than a cast iron head. Hey, he's waking up.
Morning, Kirk, baby.
You had a real nice sleep, didn't you? And I bet you're real hungry. And I just bet you'd love to have some of this, wouldn't you?
Could I have some water, please?
Give him some water.
Yeah.
They don't want him croaking like a frog all morning.
Open wide.
Drink it slow. That's all the nourishment you're going to get.
Why don't you get it over with? I can't tell you about any money. Why don't you just kill me and be done with it?
Don't worry so much. You still got 12, 13 hours to go.
What?
I went and saw your wife last night. I gave her 24 hours to come up with that money. That's all the time you got left.
You saw Emily?
Emily? I thought his wife's name was April.
No. My wife is Emily.
Excuse me. Thank you, Molly. Logan, is it really that important that I can't wait until tonight?
Well, I just don't know how the rest of my day's going to go. I mean, if you don't mind seeing me this early in the morning, I'd sure like to drop by there on my way to work.
I'm always glad to see you. Can you give me a hint what it's about?
Well, it's about the Michaels. I got some new information.
How did you finally meet the mysterious Kirk?
No, I didn't meet him. I'm not going to meet him either. April Kirk Michaels doesn't exist. Well, there's some man in her life, that's for certain, and he's using the name Kirk Michaels, and he's working at that factory that she told us about. I know that because I checked. But there's also something very phony going on, as I suspected ever since it became clear that she wasn't going to let us meet her husband.
Look, you almost met him, right, when you went up to Oakdale that time?
Almost. She stopped me cold. Look, I have a very specific reason for saying that Kirk Michaels doesn't exist, but I want to tell you in person, so I'll be down there in half an hour. Is that okay?
Fine, I'll be waiting.
All right, see you then. Bye-bye.
Well, you're leaving very early this morning, aren't you?
Yeah, I gotta go see April. We gotta get this Michaels business settled. I think she's gonna have to get out of that house deal with those people.
Because you don't think they're honest, is that it?
It's looking more and more like a con game all the time. You seen my tie? I thought oh, here it is.
You care a great deal about April, don't you?
Yeah, I do.
We talked about you, you know, April and I.
Oh, you did? What'd you say? She hasn't told me anything at all.
No, of course not. She's as shy about her feelings as you are about yours.
Well, I put my feelings into words, Geraldine. April hasn't. Not that I blame her, all things considered, but...
Who in the world is that at this hour?
You stay put. I'll find out. Yes, Raven.
Good
my God.
morning.
8 o'clock in the morning. What happened? You stay out all night and forget your way home?
Darling, I've been up for hours. Jamie is so adorable at this part of the day that I don't want to spend that time away from him. And then my nurse came, so I came over here.
My. You mean to say, Raven, that you're correcting all your bad habits?
But don't you think it's about time? I've been such a naughty girl. But now, since I'm a good mother, my whole schedule has changed.
Yeah, we heard about all your changes. A fresh coat of paint on the nursery, a decent set of clothes for
A new
change.
nurse, and she's wonderful, although she's much too expensive.
Tell me, Raven, did you know in advance that welfare woman was coming to visit you? Were you tipped off by somebody like Cliff, perchance, since it was his idea that she do it in the first place?
I did not know a thing about it, but I must say I was thrilled to be able to show her how well Jamie is being treated.
I think I know what it's all about. You're doing this for your mother's benefit, aren't you? all of this exhibition?
It's not an exhibition. This is the real me.
As much as I hate to tear myself away from the real you, I got things to do.
Well, that's all right, darling. You run right ahead because I have to talk to Geraldine anyway. It's about Mother.
Have a good time. See you later. Goodbye, Raven.
Goodbye, Logan.
All right, Raven. What is it you want to say about Nadine?
As you know, Mother's coming into town in a few days.
Yes, I'm perfectly aware of that. As a matter of fact, she's asked me to book a suite for her here at this hotel. So far, I haven't had much luck. Needless to say, I'm looking forward to seeing her, however. As you can well imagine, I'll have a great deal to tell her.
Well, the only thing I'm concerned about is her health. Has she talked to you about it?
No, nothing at all, really.
Well, she's talked to me about it, and quite frankly, I'm worried. Geraldine, it's very serious. It might be critical.
Well, I'm sorry to hear that, Raven.
She's been through a great deal of pain internally, and the doctors in London don't know what to do about it. The only thing left is surgery, and of course she doesn't want that.
Well, perhaps it isn't as serious as she thinks.
I think it's psychosomatic. I spent a few months in London, and I saw exactly what was going on. And let me tell you something, their marriage is in dreadful condition. To say that Ansel was unfaithful would be putting it mildly.
I'm sorry, Raven, but that really is none of my business.
But you're her friend. You've been her friend for 30 years. Surely you care enough about her to help her.
Of course I care. And I'm very surprised to find that you care. After all, I seem to recall that you and Ansel... Yes, well, no matter. I'll do what I can for Nadine when I see her.
I think to help her, you should open her eyes. Because she will not believe that that marriage is hopeless. She continues to make excuses for Ansel, and you know the truth.
Yes, I know that. I am not at all blind to Ansel's faults.
So Ansel is carrying on, isn't he?
My dear Ray. To be perfectly blunt about it, your stepfather is the most shameless Lothario I've ever met. Of course, I knew that when Nadine married him, but at the time, I didn't feel I could say anything.
Well, can't you say something now?
After all, Raven, they live in London. What happens there?
But you have friends in London. Surely they tell you things.
Well, yes, some things. I know, for example, that there is a young woman whom Ansel has been keeping for several months. A blonde fashion model.
Oh, really? I never thought Ansel liked blondes.
And then before that, last year, there was a notorious affair with a young actress. A girl barely out of her teens.
You're kidding. I didn't know about that, but it must have been before I went there.
Oh, for heaven's sake, Raven, stop all of this. What happens in that marriage is none of my business. And furthermore, it's none of your business, despite the fact that you are Nadine's daughter. I have no doubt that Nadine knows the truth about Ansel, and somewhere along the line, she's made her peace with all of that. The best thing that you can do for her is not overload her with advice, but treat her with kindness and gentleness, especially now when she's not feeling very well.
You're absolutely right. But then you always are, aren't you? Well, thank you. I can't tell you how much your words have meant to me.
You certainly made good time, especially considering morning traffic.
Yeah, I did. Thank you. I'd have made a lot better time when I had an early morning visitor. Would you believe Raven?
This hour, that's incredible.
Yeah, I felt the same way. Sun's out. She should be in her earth box.
Would Mr. Swift care for a little breakfast?
No, well, maybe something light, a piece of toast, an English muffin, something like that. If you have
Just
it.
take a minute.
Thank you. That'd be very nice.
Listen, I certainly hope what you told me about Emily is not true.
April, I hate to say anything against her, but she is married to the mystery man, so I don't see how she could be completely innocent.
All right. Look, what did you mean when you told me that Kirk Michaels doesn't exist?
Kirk Michaels is dead.
So what?
He's dead. He was killed 9 years ago during a payroll robbery. Now, there's no question about these facts. Kirk Michaels ended up in the getaway car with another man. The second man was killed when the car crashed. The police were chasing him.
Some mistake, maybe.
No mistake at all. Michael survived the crash, tried to shoot it out with the cops, and he wasn't very successful at that either, and there was a positive identification of the body.
Different man, same name.
Nope. His background information checks out completely with the story that Emily told you. 10 years ago, he was sent to a correctional facility outside of a little town called Evansville.
Emily's hometown, yeah.
Right. I don't think it's a coincidence. A mystery, yes, but not a coincidence.
Well, then who is the man living in my house?
I don't know. He's calling himself Kirk Michaels, but he's somebody else.
Look, do you think that maybe he has lied to Emily?
I think that Emily has lied to you.
Oh, yeah? Well, if that's true, I feel very sad.
Yeah, I know. I'm sorry to have to be the one to tell you because I know you like her, and I'll tell you the truth, I like her too. I went to see her again.
Well, what did she have to say?
Same story she told you. Her husband suffering from a very severe case of amnesia. It's destroyed half of his memory. That's why he's so shy about going out in society. Well, I'll tell you, he's over that shyness. He's over that shyness in a big way. He's out in society now.
What are you saying?
He's gone. He disappeared on her.
He's what?
He took off, walked out. Yesterday, the day before, sometime. Left a note saying he'd be gone for a couple of hours and called a little later to say it would be a few days, and she hasn't heard from him since.
All right, well, what do you make of all of this?
If I had to guess, I'd say he's taking it on the lam, as they used to say in the detective movies.
You think he's a criminal, don't you?
Yes, I do.
Well, I don't, Logan. I just don't believe it. Poor Emily. I am just going to go check to see what's keeping Molly.
April, please don't bother with that. I'm not hungry.
I just wanted them to be happy, Logan. I just wanted a happy couple living in my house. Obviously, it was just a dream, huh? Just a stupid dream. Don't be so upset, Logan. I know why you did it, and it was not to hurt Kirk or whoever he is or Emily. It was to protect me.
Well, I hope you understand. I'm awful sorry it worked out this way.
I do understand, and I appreciate it. It's very thoughtful.
Mrs. Scott, I burned the toast. I'm sorry it took so long.
That's no problem. No problem.
Oh, goodness. Do you take sugar and cream with your coffee?
I'll drink it black this morning, and I'll pour. Okay?
If that's all.
That's fine. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Well, what am I supposed to do now, huh? Just sit around and wait to hear from Emily?
Well, I think you ought to get all the cards on the table, that's for sure. I'd put this house deal on the shelf, and I'd find out what the hell is going on.
I think the deposit money from the house has gone into my account. Emily made sure that the insurance company had the check forwarded to the bank.
We'll leave it there. I mean, after all, they're living in your place. But don't finalize that deal. Not till you know who you're dealing with.
Emily, you have got to do something, and you have got to do something soon. The whole thing is falling apart.
Yes, Molly, it is falling apart. It's a very good way of putting it.
Now, the district attorney knows that Kirk Michaels is dead. He is determined to find out who your Kirk really is. And if he does find out, you know what's going to happen then.
Emily, are you listening to me?
Yes, Molly, I'm listening.
Why do you sound so strange?
Things are worse than you think.
What do you mean?
You know that man I told you about? The one at the amusement park? Well, he was here last night.
What did he want?
He came to tell me that he had Kirk. Only didn't tell me where. Just why.
And please, tell me exactly what he said.
They're holding him. I don't know how many there are. It's a gang, I suppose. Well, I just can't believe this is true. I can't believe it's really happening. It's like a bad dream, only I can't wake up and make it all go away.
They're holding the man I love. And they're going to kill him. I know they are. They're going to kill him because he can't give them what they want.
But what do they want from him?
Money. They think he's the real Kirk Michaels, of course, just like I used to. Evidently, they were involved in some kind of robbery together, and Kirk ran off with the money. They think I know where it is, and they want me to bring it to them, or they're going to kill him. And they've only given me a few hours.
Well, then you are going to have to do what you always wanted to do, Emily. Maybe it's time to call the police.
It's too late, Molly. He warned me about calling the police. He said if I did, he'd kill him right away.
Oh, I can't believe they're going to hurt him. Oh, surely they'll realize they've got the wrong man.
Molly, even he thinks he's Kirk Michaels. Daddy and I did a wonderful job of convincing him of that. We ought to be very proud of ourselves.
I did it! I did it.
Did what?
I am a genius. You know, sometimes I amaze myself. There's nothing I can't do when I really put my mind to it. I should run for president. Actually, I would love being the first woman in the White House.
Okay, tell me all about it.
Remember I told you I wanted to arrange things so that Mother would never think of Geraldine Saxon as her friend again. Mm-hmm. Well, I did it. Or at least I have the raw material.
Go on, let's hear it. You know I'm your humble disciple, Raven.
Hear it, you will. Geraldine, she simply won't believe that her marriage is just plain hopeless. She continues to make one excuse after another for Ansel, and you know that's the truth.
Yes, I know. I'm not at all blind to Ansel's faults.
Something tells me Mrs. Saxon didn't know she was on the air.
No, she definitely didn't.
To put it bluntly, my dear, your stepfather is the most shameless Lothario I've ever met in my life. I knew that when Nadine married him, but at the time I didn't feel I could say anything.
Well, can't you say something now?
For heaven's sake, Raven, they live in London. What goes on there?
But you have friends in London. I'm sure they could tell you things.
Yes. I've heard things. There's a woman that Ansel has been keeping for some months, for example. A blonde fashion model.
Really? I didn't think Ansel cared for blondes.
And then, before that, last year, there was a notorious affair with a young actress. A girl barely out of her teens.
So, you see what a vicious gossip my mother's best friend is. Now all I have to do is doctor this up a little bit, and my mother will see exactly what Geraldine thinks of her and her marriage, and I'm afraid that it will be the end of a beautiful friendship.
What should I do? Dear God, where can I turn for help? I have to call the police. I have to save him. It doesn't matter if they find out who he is. He may never recover his memory. He may want to stay with me and not with her.
No, I can't. They'd kill him if I called. He probably tapped the phone while he was here. Might even be watching the house. Oh my God, what am I gonna do?
You two are really a piece of work.
Shut up, huh?
You gotta take a look at yourselves. You're both more worried than I am.
You're gonna have plenty more to worry about yourself, Blue Eyes.
Oh, yeah? There's nothing more I can do to help myself now. This Kirk Michaels, whoever he was, whatever he did, it's all wiped from my memory. Considering the trash his friends were, I'm just as glad that it was.
You know, for a guy who won't talk. You sure talk a lot.
I think I'd suffer like this for money? The reason I don't tell you about the money is that I don't know. Can't you get that through your heads?
You're right. He's talking too much. I think we have to fix his mouth for him. What other kind of tools have you got?
Hey, Frankie, wait a minute.
If you're chicken, wait outside.
Oh, no, wait, listen. I just had an idea about that wife of his.
What about her?
Well, instead of using this stuff on him, why don't we use it on her?
Well, I see what you mean. Maybe he likes to suffer, but maybe he won't like seeing her suffer.
Seems as though a harmony is hard to find. Always on my mind. And frustrated days pass without sight. The edge of night, half dark, half light. Do you think we might wake up someday and be aware of all the games people play?
You gotta look at yourselves. Both more worried than I am.
You'll have plenty more to worry about soon, Blue Eyes.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah.
There's nothing more I can do to help myself now. This Kirk Michaels, whoever he was, whatever he did, it's all been wiped from my memory now. Considering the trash his friends were, I'm just as glad that it was.
You know, for a guy who won't talk, you sure talk a lot.
You think I'd suffer like this for the money? The only reason I don't tell you about money is because I don't know about it. Can't you get that through your head?
You know, you're right. He talks too much. I think we have to fix his mouth for him. What else have you got in your toolbox?
Hey, Frankie, wait a minute.
Oh, if you're chicken, you can wait outside.
No, wait, listen. Just had an idea about that wife of his.
What about her?
Well, instead of using that stuff on him, why don't we use it on her?
Well, I see what you mean. Maybe he likes to suffer, huh? But maybe he wouldn't like to see her suffer.
No, wait a minute. It won't do you any good. It doesn't make any difference what you say or do to either one of us.
I think I'll give Mrs. Michaels a call.
Hello?
Mrs. Michaels,
Yes, who is this?
this is your husband's friend. You remember me.
Just tell me how he is.
Gonna be home this morning, Mrs. Michaels?
Well, no, I have to go to work. I have a job.
Important, the job or your husband's life? You call in sick, and then you stay there and wait for me alone. You understand? All alone.
Afraid it's going to be another few minutes, Steph. Sorry. Emily, is this something about your husband, or are you feeling sick yourself?
No, it has nothing to do with Kirk. As a matter of fact, he isn't home yet.
Oh, I'm sorry about that. I know how concerned you were about him.
Yes, I think that's why I feel so awful. You see, I didn't get any sleep last night. I kept hearing the car drive in. You know how it is.
Yeah, of course. But listen, if this is a genuine illness, you'd be better off coming in here. You know, one of the benefits of this new job of yours is a free medical checkup when you need it.
No, thank you very much, though. I think if I could just get back to bed and get some sleep, I'd be fine. I could come in later, though.
No, don't worry about it. Just take care of yourself. Look, I've found you. I've hired you. I don't want to lose you now.
God, I feel so awful about this, Dr. Kavanaugh. Here I am. I just started, and I'm doing this to you.
No, I'll manage all right. Just let me hear from you later.
Yes, of course. I promise. And thank you very much, Dr. Kavanaugh.
Goodbye.
Bye.
Of course, I'll manage. I'm sorry for the delay, everybody. Mrs. Johnson, you're next, aren't you?
Just how many cases are you working on, Detective?
I don't know. I've lost track.
Well, I count more than 12. What are you trying to do, become a one-man detective team? Now, excuse me, a one-woman? Ever since you came back from Grand Falls, you've been working like a demon. What are you trying to prove?
Just trying to make up for lost time, Chief.
Want some coffee?
No, thank you.
Maybe I, didn't bother you with this other assignment.
Oh, what assignment?
It's nothing. There's no priority. It's probably not even police business. The only reason I thought about you is because you were involved back in the beginning.
Mm-hmm.
Nah, forget about it. Forget about it.
Now, wait a minute, Chief. You got my curiosity aroused.
It's about Emily Michaels. Actually, it's about Kirk Michaels.
Oh, of course I'm interested. In fact, I called the feds to get a complete rundown on the guy. You know, our file only goes up to 9 years ago.
The rundown came in yesterday. I gather you haven't read it then.
No, I haven't had a chance to get back to my own desk.
I can tell you what it says. It says that Kirk Michaels is dead.
Dead? Well, that's impossible. He's living with Emily Michaels in the Scott house.
I don't know who is living with that woman in that house, but it is not Kirk Michaels. And this is not another case of misidentification because we double-checked. Kirk Michaels was shot and killed during an attempted escape after an armed robbery in 1971.
He's been dead for 9 years?
Absolutely and completely. Some of the facts of his life and career so match this woman's story that, we may be dealing with an imposter.
This doesn't make any sense, Chief. What kind of a man would choose to impersonate a wanted criminal?
I don't know. Maybe he's trying to pull something over on this woman. Maybe the two of them are trying to con April.
Oh, boy.
And you know, to make matters worse, this man who calls himself Kirk Michaels is up and disappeared.
You mean he's gone?
If he ever existed in the first place. You know, since nobody's actually seen this guy, I'm beginning to have my doubts. Maybe Emily Michaels just made it all up.
Oh, no, Chief. I don't think that could be possible. I mean, surely April must have talked to him, and Logan went to meet him.
Logan tried to, but he never did. No, the only reason I'm getting involved in this is to do a favor for Logan. He's afraid it is a plot against April.
Oh, yes, and anything that hurts April hurts Logan.
Well, like I said, it's not top priority, so,
Oh, no, wait, Chief. Please, if you don't mind, I would like to follow it up. And I'd like to have Calvin help me.
I thought he's off duty.
He is, but he's following up on a little complaint of his own.
Don't anticipate. Don't rush it, Pat. Nice, John. Keep your buttons. Watch your balance. Come on, keep together. Come on, Stoner. Okay, everybody, let's take a 5-minute break.
Oh, okay. Let's hear it. That was terrible, wasn't it?
You said you were rusty, Detective.
Rusty? I can hear every joint in my body cracking. Oh, it's one thing about dancing. You really think you're in great shape until you try doing this stuff.
I thought you said you got great exercise down at the headquarters.
Yeah, well, push-ups and jogging doesn't exactly help here. I mean, I'm using muscles, man, that I haven't used in years.
Well, you'll be sore for a couple of days, and then after a couple more classes, you'll be fine.
There aren't going to be any more classes. I just came to see how much of what I used to know I remember, and I think I forgot it all.
No, you didn't. As a matter of fact, you've got some talent.
Don't try to recruit me, Wiley.
You enjoyed it, didn't you?
Well, I'll tell you the truth, I thought it was sheer torture. Beside which, in my profession, I can't let it get around that I'm prancing around a dance studio, if you know what I mean.
Can't take it, huh?
I'd rather face a hood with a loaded gun.
Yeah, I know it isn't easy. I had to put up with a lot of flack when I first started taking dance lessons. I didn't get just Charlie horses, I got black eyes and broken teeth.
Yeah, how come?
Because I had to prove my manhood all the time, that's why. I used to have to get into street fights so I could go on living in the neighborhood. So I could go home and face my dad at night.
Yeah, you mentioned your father before. What kind of work is he into?
He has a construction company. He always thought that it would read Wiley and Son, you know, on the masthead, but I can't see myself wearing a hard hat and tossing around rivets.
And bet he was real happy the day you walked in the door and announced you were going to do this, right?
He practically disowned me right there. I guess he was thinking about what his friends would say when they heard the news.
Yeah, well, look, don't hold it against him. You know, he probably had to take a few black eyes and a couple of broken teeth himself.
Yeah, I'm sure it hurt him, but I wasn't going to do something that I didn't want to do just to make him happy.
Yeah, so you went ahead, huh?
That's right. I told him I was going to be a big dancing star someday, that all of his hard-hat friends would go to the movies or go to the stage and see me and say, "That's Joe Wiley's son. He's something else." As you can see, I'm well on my way to stardom.
Hey, come on. Don't worry about it. You got plenty of time.
Calvin?
Oh, hey, Red, what's up?
Well, I thought you were here to talk about a complaint, or did you change your mind?
Oh, you mean that guy who came in here to beating up on me? I just the first thing I've ever heard about
it's okay. I got it all taken care of. I just wanted to let Wiley here know that he had to be more careful in the future.
Oh, yeah, sure. I understand what you mean. Okay, everybody, let's go. Let's start again.
So what's up?
Well, Calvin, now that you're off duty, how would you like to come take a little ride with me?
Yeah? Where to?
I want to go out to Oakdale to see Emily Michaels. I want to find out how she managed to marry herself a dead man.
What?
I just talked to Miles. She's home sick. I'll tell you the rest of the story on the way out.
Well, I was never one to resist a riddle. Let's go. Say, Wiley, I'll see you sometime, okay?
See you around sometime, yeah.
Like in about a year.
Come in.
Hello.
Oh, Jody. Thank goodness I thought it was another one of my patients barging in. How are you?
Okay, how are you?
I've been here the whole morning without a receptionist.
Oh, I was wondering why there wasn't anyone out there. What happened to her?
Oh, well, she's sick.
Well, isn't that a problem for you?
Yes, it's a problem, but there is nothing I can do about it.
Well, there is something I can do about it. I'll be your new receptionist.
Oh, that's very sweet of you, Jody. Really is. But I'm only expecting, 3 more patients this morning. Then I have to go to police headquarters.
Oh, but I want to. I want to help you in some way. And it's hardly what you call strenuous work, is it?
No, I suppose it isn't.
I realize I don't know the first thing about medicine, but I promise I won't give your patients any free medical advice.
Yeah, well, that would be a good idea.
Please. I want to repay you for the kindness you've shown me.
Jody, you don't have to repay me for anything. I mean, you are a member of the family. You're a new member, that's for sure, but you're still a member.
No, I don't think blood relationship has anything to do with it. I think you have to earn the way people feel about you, don't you?
Well, if you put it that way, I guess you're right.
So that's what I want to do, Miles. Earn the way you feel about me.
You mean the way we feel about you, don't you?
Yeah, of course. Both you and Nicole. I'll get it.
No, it's all right.
I beat you. Dr. Kavanaugh's office. Yes. Can I take a message? Mrs. Tyler. Okay. I'll tell the doctor. Thank you. Bye-bye. Mrs. Tyler's not coming in today. She's rescheduled her appointment for tomorrow. Well, now. There. I've already started the job. You can't possibly turn me down now, can you?
No. Looks like you are irresistible, Jody.
Terrific. You know, I'm almost glad the other receptionist couldn't make it in today. Well, buzz if you need me.
Hello, Mrs. Michaels. Nice to see you again. Sure you're alone?
Of course I'm alone. You think I'd endanger my husband's safety?
You're a real smart lady. And don't worry about your husband because he's just fine. Slept like a baby last night.
I don't believe you. And I won't believe you till I can see for myself.
Well, that's what I'm here to tell you. I'm going to give you the chance to see him.
You mean you're letting him go?
Well, we can't do that, Mrs. Michaels. I mean, not just yet.
But I don't know anything about the money, and Kirk can't possibly tell you anything either.
Yeah, I know all about the bad memory. But you know something, Mrs. Michaels? I have an idea that his memory is going to return.
No, it can't. You see, he's not the man you think he is. He's somebody entirely different.
Hey, forget that song, huh? I mean, we already know that your husband is our old buddy Kirk from 10 years ago.
No, he thinks he is, but he isn't. I know it sounds crazy, but I swear it's the truth.
Now, you two should have got your stories straight before all this happened. But don't worry, because you're going to get another chance. Come on.
You want me to go with you?
You want to see your husband, don't you?
Well, yes, of course I do.
Well, that's why I'm here, to take you to him.
Why?
Because he wants to see you, that's why. You were real worried about him a minute ago. Don't you want to be with him? Make sure he's okay?
Yes, of course I do. Just tell me where he is.
You'll find that out when we get there. Come on, I said! You expecting company?
No, I wasn't.
You know them?
I think they're police.
Now, you be careful what you say. If we don't get back to where your husband is in 1 hour, then the next time that you see him, he's going to be in a box. You understand? Answer that. Oh. And tell him I'm a friend.
Hello, Mrs. Michaels. I don't know if you know my partner,
We've met.
Detective Stoner.
Yes, what can I do for you, Miss Saxon? I was just going out.
Really? We were told you were sick today. Well, is this Mr. Michaels?
No, this is a friend of his from the plant.
Yeah, the name's Wilson. Dick Wilson.
Well, Mr. Wilson, have you seen Mr. Michaels recently?
No. That's why I stopped by to say hi to Mrs. Michaels. In fact, we were just going out for lunch. We really should be getting going. We don't want to miss that reservation, do we?
Yes, I'm ready.
We would appreciate a couple of minutes of your time, Mrs. Michaels.
Yeah, it won't take long. It's about your husband.
Oh, why don't I just wait out in the car? Just don't be too long.
No, I won't. Thank you, Mr. Wilson.
It's really nice seeing you. You too.
Yeah. Since we don't have much time, I think I'll come right to the point. Why do you call yourself Mrs. Kirk Michaels when your husband has been dead for 9 years?
What are you talking about?
We have an official death certificate. Kirk Michaels was shot and killed by the police committing a payroll robbery.
No, you're mistaken. You have him mixed up with someone
Your
else.
husband is using his name. We'd like to know why. Why has he chosen to adopt the identity of a man with a criminal record?
Mrs. Michaels, it's obvious that there are a lot of things you haven't told us.
Well, what have I done wrong? What crime have I committed?
No, you haven't committed any crimes.
Then why are you here? Why are you questioning me? You have no
Michaels,
right.
You don't have to get worried about it. It's just that we want to help you.
Well, if you want to help me, you can mind your own business. I don't have to talk to you, you know.
Well, no, you don't have to, but we...
Well, then, excuse me. I do have a lunch date.
what he said? He says forget about it.
We can't do that. The woman's obviously hiding something.
Well, he said that she hasn't committed any crimes, and neither has her husband.
Oh, that's terrific. Okay, look, what about the house? Why don't we pursue it through April Scott?
Well, the house isn't sold yet, and April just said that she got the down payment.
There is something fishy going on, Reg. You can feel it.
What about that big blonde with blue eyes,
Yeah, I don't
Mr.
know about
Wilson?
him. You suppose there's a little hanky-panky going on between him and Emily?
I don't know. I have no idea.
Do you think it's possible that he is actually the mysterious Kirk Michaels?
I don't think so. He doesn't look anything like the pictures I've got, even though they're 10 years old.
Yeah, then who is he?
Could be a friend, like they said. Could be a Confederate. Why don't we go to headquarters and look up the mugshots?
Oh, we can do better than that. I got his license number.
You know, for somebody who wanted to be a dancer stoner, you're an awfully good
You
cop.
said you would never mention that.
It was gonna mean a lot to me, that money. $25,000 each. 10 years ago, that was a fortune. Even now, it's more than I've ever seen. But you had to be greedy, Kirk, baby. You wanted it all for yourself. You don't know what pleasure it gives me to see you squirm. I've waited 10 years to pay you back.
She is, Frankie.
Emily!
Oh, Kirk.
Emily, I'm sorry. I'm sorry to get you mixed up in this.
No, it's not your fault. It's not your fault at all. It's all me.
Hey, Larry, break that up. I can't take these sentimental reunions. They make me cry like a baby.
Let them say hello, Frankie. They'll be saying goodbye in a minute.
No, let him say goodbye right now. Here.
Huh?
You got 2 minutes, Kirk. 2 minutes.
Yes, Oscar. Hello, it's Molly. What can I do for you? She is? Well, yes, of course, send her up.
Hello, Molly.
Emily, I didn't expect you tonight.
Where's April?
Oh, dear, did you two have some plans? She must have forgotten.
Would you tell her I'm here? I have to see her right away.
But, dear, Mrs. Scott isn't here.
Oh, no, where is she?
She's at WMON, doing whatever it is she does there.
What time will she be back?
She said something about staying through the 11 p.m. newscast.
No, she can't do that. I just don't have that much time.
Emily, now, what is the matter? You're practically hysterical.
Oh, Molly, everything's wrong, everything.
It's Kirk, isn't it? Now, tell me, what's going on?
No, I don't have time to explain. The only thing I can tell you is that Kirk's life is very much in danger right now. Those people I told you about, the people who think Kirk owes them money.
Well, but he doesn't. I mean, he isn't the person that they think he is.
Yeah, but they won't believe him, Molly. And they've set a deadline. They said if I don't come up with the money by tomorrow morning, they're going to kill him. And April's the only one who can help me.
this is just horrible. How did you know this? Did they get in touch with you again?
No, they took me to him, Molly. They're holding him. No, I can't tell you. If I told you, you might call the police, and then they kill him for sure. I know they would.
Emily, quietly, dear.
No,
Just...
Molly, they have beaten him. They hurt him terribly. They tried to torture the information out of him, but he couldn't tell them where the money was because he just doesn't know.
Emily, I'm beginning to think this has gone too far. Perhaps we
No.
I
I just want to get in touch with April. I know she can help me.
But how? Are you simply going to tell her the truth about her husband?
No.
Because if you are, you might as well go to the police. It won't matter anymore.
No, Molly, haven't you heard what I said? If they tell the police and the police come, then they'll kill him right away. I just can't take that chance. No, I have to get the money, and I'll bring it to them, and then they'll let Kirk go. And then we'll both be able to leave town together.
Oh, Miss Emily, that's what I've hoped you would do ever since the beginning. Oh, now you just tell me what I can do. I'll do anything you say.
No. April is the only one who can help me. You see, they say that Kirk owes them $50,000. I don't know. Maybe it's true.
Are you going to ask Mrs. Scott for the money?
It's my money. It's the money I gave her as a down payment on the house. We're not going to need that house anymore. Our little dream house.
Oh, Emily. Oh, dear.
No, Molly. I don't need sympathy right now. What I need is money. Now, are you sure that April is going to be at the station all evening?
That's what she said.
Well, maybe I ought to go there.
Maybe you should call first. I've got the number.
All right, that's a good idea. Would you dial it for me? My hands are too shaky. I don't think I can dial.
Of course I will. I just hope you're doing the right thing.
I'm doing the only thing I can to keep Kirk alive.
And you're sure there's nothing I can do?
Just get in touch with April with me, please.
Right away.
And pray, Molly. Pray for Kirk.
April, here's a list of movies that syndication house is offering.
Well, we promised our viewers a whole batch of good movies for the coming season.
Well, somehow I doubt that the material in that package will suit our needs, but you're much more of a movie buff than I.
Well, I will give it a good hard look over and then give you a good honest opinion.
Now, here's something else to bring you up to date. It is material we have begun to compile to renew our license with the FCC.
I don't suppose one would consider this bedtime reading, huh? But I will look it over. I will learn it all. I have to know everything that's going on.
Good heavens, we haven't even put a dent in this pile. I'm afraid we're going to have to spend a rather long evening in order to bring you up to date on all this.
I'm in no rush.
I hate having to feed you this material and so fast.
Well, it's simply necessary if I am going to take over as acting station manager.
I can't tell you how much I appreciate your filling in for me.
Well, with all the hard work you've put in here, I would say that time off is definitely in order.
You know, I'm really looking forward to seeing Nadine again. She's my oldest and dearest friend, and I haven't seen her in much too long.
Well, I don't want you to worry, because I will definitely hold down this fort until you get back.
It's so good to have you here again, April.
So good to be back. It feels right.
Well, what do you say we get back to work?
Ready.
Hello. Nadine, my darling, how are you? It must be the middle of the night over there.
The time doesn't matter. I thought it was important we talk.
But you're arriving here tomorrow evening. What couldn't wait until then? Unless you had to alter your plans.
I'll be on that morning flight.
Good. Now what can I do for you?
Well, it's more what you don't have to do for me. I know you were planning to meet me at the airport, but I'd rather you didn't bother.
But it's no bother, I insist.
Raven volunteered to pick me up. I've accepted her offer.
But Nadine, we made our plans last week.
Well, you are very much the busy executive these days. I don't want to interrupt your schedule.
Oh, well, I don't understand.
This is the way I'd rather have it.
Well, of course. I assume we're still on for dinner tomorrow evening.
Well, it is going to be a late flight, Geraldine. I'm not feeling all that well as it is. Perhaps we should postpone it.
Well, of course, whatever you think best. I'm still trying to arrange a suite for you at the Monticello Arms.
Don't go to that trouble. There are plenty of decent hotels in Monticello, and until I find one to my liking, Raven has graciously offered to let me stay with her.
I see.
As you said, Geraldine, it is late here. I am very fatigued, so I'll be signing off for now.
Well, be sure to call me when you land. I'll want to know that you've landed safely.
I have your number.
Have a good flight. Something is very wrong.
What's the matter?
That's a very good question, and one for which I have no answer. That was the strangest phone call.
Are you upset?
I am. For some inexplicable reason, my dearest friend doesn't sound very friendly at all.
Well, maybe she's tired. It must be very late over there. Or she could be anxious about the trip. Or she might very well be anxious about her own medical condition.
Plausible explanations, I suppose, but none that would justify a very drastic change in her plans.
Like what?
Apparently, while Nadine is here, she's going to be seeing a great deal of Raven.
Raven and Nadine may not be the best of buddies, but they're still mother and daughter.
That's a family tie both parties regret, I am sure. You see, Nadine wrote to me when Raven came back to Monticello. It seems they had had a terrible argument. It was one of those awful knock-down, drag-out affairs. I don't know what precipitated that exactly, but I do know at the time Nadine felt that if she never saw Raven again or heard from her, that would be just fine with her.
Yeah, but that was some months ago, and time has a way of softening hard feelings.
I think Raven had every intention of staying in London until that altercation. Then after that, the city wasn't big enough to hold both of them, so she left.
Well, if that's true, then Nadine's attitude isn't about face.
But you see, after that, Nadine was quite happy to erase Raven out of existence. And now Raven is meeting her at the airport. She's staying with Raven until she finds a hotel here in Monticello. I just don't understand. These changes are absolutely incomprehensible.
Geraldine, are you feeling a little bit slighted?
Yes, I suppose I am. I've fallen out of favor with Nadine, and I want to know why.
Raven would have known that you and Nadine would plan on spending an awful lot of time together.
Yes, of course she would know that, and she wouldn't like that idea very much either.
No.
Raven would know that there are a great many unpleasant stories I could tell her mother. Yes. It must have something to do with all of that.
But what exactly could Raven have done?
What could she have done to separate two friends of 30 years' standing? Hello. Oh, yes, just a moment, please. It's for you, dear. A lady named Michaels.
Emily?
Oh, April, thank God I got through.
Well, I was hoping you'd try to reach me.
April, I'm terribly sorry if I interrupted any important meeting or anything like that, but this is an emergency.
Well, what's the problem?
There's been some trouble, some terrible trouble.
Tell me about it.
Not on the phone. I really have to see you. There's something we have to discuss.
Well, I'm really rather tied up at the moment and will be for a while.
No, April, you don't understand. I have to see you as soon as possible.
Well, I suppose you could come down to the studio if you'd like.
All right, that's what I'll do. I'll be right over. Bye.
Bye.
Talk about a sight for sore eyes. There's actually a respectable crowd out there. And there's a line at the bar. If business keeps up, I'm going to charge a cover.
I'm back. And look what I found in that rusty old wine cellar of yours.
I told you to go to Charlie. How did you get down there?
Well, I went to Charlie and I told him that you said I could have the key. Come on, Elliot. I know you keep all your cheap stuff up here.
I see you managed to get one of my most expensive vintages.
But of course, darling, you always say I deserve the best, and I agree. And besides, we need to have a proper celebration. So, are you going to drink out of these champagne glasses, or will you feel more humble if I go out and get a couple of straws?
The glasses will do fine.
Yeah, I thought so. You know what? I think you should invite that Kelly McGrath here for a toast. Woo! Yes! I mean, if it weren't for him and his Poco puppets, I think you would be in a ditch drunk right now.
McGrath is really backing them in. That's true. I think I'll ask Kelly to maybe do 2 performances a night. Then I could charge twice.
You sly thing. To Fame and Jamie's Fortune. Oh, yes. You know what? I'm really excited about tomorrow. That's what I'm toasting to.
Ah, yes. The tearful reunion with Mama.
That's right. First, I'm going to get her baggage, and then we'll go back to my apartment. And then she'll see her beautiful grandchild, and she'll see the wonderful surroundings that he's being raised in. There's only one thing. Every second that old bat spends in my place is going to be sheer torture.
But then why do you do it?
Because by keeping an eye on dear Mama, I can ensure that she doesn't bump into that meddling old Geraldine Saxon.
Well, the meeting of those two minds could upset your little apple cart.
Mm-hmm. But as long as I'm around, it's not going to happen.
Yeah. Which means I won't be coming around, right?
Oh, baby, I'm so sorry. It's just that my apartment will be off limits to you as long as Mom's in town. Well, don't be upset. We'll still see each other, huh? We can meet here like we used to. Maybe I'll even invite Mother here for a night out, huh?
So we can wink at each other across a room. How romantic.
Well, just don't stare at me and drool on the table. I'll be so embarrassed.
Get off my lap.
Come on, Elliot. It's only going to be 2 weeks. Just be patient. I don't want her to know about us.
Well, given half the chance, I'd charm the pants off her. Figuratively speaking, of course.
Of course. Elliot, I just don't want her to think that another man is responsible for Logan and my breakup.
What's the difference? Your mother hates you anyway. She even cut you out of her will.
Yes, but I'm still Jamie's mother, and Jamie is still very much in the will. Now look, we are playing for very, very high stakes. So, as awful as it may be, try to understand, okay?
Well, you've been a great audience, and I want to thank you. If you enjoyed the Poco puppets, I want you to tell your friends. If you didn't, tell them to come down to the Unicorn Disco anyway and have a good time. So I'm going to go put on the dance music and the lights and have a great evening. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you.
Music, lights, and action, right?
Right.
Okay.
Do you think I could get an autograph?
Jody, hi.
Not your autograph, one of the puppets. That's if you've taught him how to write yet.
What are you doing here?
Having a terrific time. You know, that's really the best puppet show I've ever seen.
You really mean that?
I sure do. I was clapping louder than anybody else in the audience.
Well, I hope you didn't have a tray full of drinks in your hand when you started clapping.
No, tonight I'm here on pleasure, not business. Oh, couldn't you tell? No uniform.
Yeah, I thought it was a little early for you to start back waiting on tables.
Well, I am feeling a lot better, but Dr. Kavanaugh said I couldn't go back to work until he gives me the official okay.
Well, then you should be home resting.
No, I wanted to see a complete show of yours.
Oh, yeah, I forgot. You did kind of conk out halfway through my premiere performance, didn't you?
I feel really bad about that.
Well, there's no rush because I'm doing a show 5 nights a week now.
And I'll be working those same 5 nights.
See? Perfect timing.
Perfect timing, my foot. While you're doing your show, I'll be waiting on tables. I'll never get to see the whole thing. That's why I came down tonight. You know, I'm glad I did.
I am too. Oh, here. Let's see. You know, I was going to give you a phone call and tell you what a great time I had the other night when we had dinner with the Kavanaughs.
Oh, yeah, it was interesting.
And I wanted to apologize. Well, I didn't mean to lay all my problems on you like that. It wasn't fair. And, well, it's just that you're so easy to talk to.
Oh, no. As long as it helped you to talk about it.
Oh, it really did. I'm just kind of concerned about what you must think of me.
Well, I think you're a guy who got himself into a really messy jam over in Rome.
Well, I didn't get a chance to finish the whole story.
The part that you told me about you and the girl. I don't know, Kelly. That just doesn't sound like the kind of trouble you'd get into.
Oh, okay. I'll explain. See, when I first got to Rome, there was this big welcoming party for my father. All the American bigwigs were there, including this diplomat who was connected with the Trade Council. He brought his daughter along.
That's the girl you told me about.
Mm-hmm. Karen. Well, I really liked Karen. I really did. And so one thing led to another, and we started going out. Well, I didn't know that she had an Italian boyfriend.
Well, there's nothing wrong with a little competition.
Oh, sure, competition's great. But not when you're being used. See, the only reason why Karen was going out with me was to make Giorgio jealous.
Nice lady.
And the only trouble with Giorgio was that he was one of these super macho types. Well, one night, he got a couple of his buddies together to teach Karen a lesson about messing around with other guys. We were just sitting parked in the car. And the next thing I knew, they were dragging us out, and I got tied up.
Oh, Kelly, that's awful.
The awful part about it was, when the police finally caught up with Karen, she told them that I was the one who attacked her, that the bruises on me were caused by her trying to fight me off.
Oh, well, why would she lie like that?
I don't know. To protect Giorgio, I guess. And I think she was into getting a lot of attention for herself.
Oh, Kelly.
And with Karen accusing me like that, there was nobody in the world that was going to believe me. Except my folks. They do. Then Karen decided not to press charges, and by that time all the damage was done.
So you came back to Monticello?
Yeah. And I'm never going back to Rome. Not ever. I hope you believe me, Jody. Because what I've just told you is the God's honest truth. I swear.
I believe you.
I'm so glad to meet you, Mrs. Michaels. I've heard such nice things about you from April.
It's very nice to meet you, too. Honestly, April, I never would have barged in on you if this wasn't so important.
Well, what is it?
Well, it's kind of personal.
Well, I think that's my cue to find something to do elsewhere.
I'm sorry if I'm inconveniencing you.
Oh, no, not at all. A woman's work is never done around this place, especially if she's the station manager. I'll be in the studio, April, if you should need me.
Thank you. Well, what's wrong, Emily? You're trembling.
April, we've become pretty good friends, haven't we?
I had thought so.
I have to ask you a very, very big favor. And I wish there were a choice, but
why don't you just tell me what it is?
The money I gave you is a down payment on the house.
What about it?
I have to have it back.
You can't be serious.
No. Something's happened. Kirk and I have to leave Monticello right away. It's all the money we have in the world.
Emily, I've been meaning
to please, April. I have to have the $50,000 back, and I have to have it by tomorrow morning. It's a matter of life and death. Please try to understand.
Emily, I don't understand anything.
Well, then I'll try to explain it to you. But please, don't say a word to anyone, all right? Kirk ran into some people he used to know a long time ago. He owes them a huge sum of money, a gambling debt. Well, they're holding him prisoner, and if I don't bring the money from you to them, they're going to kill him.
What?
It's true. If I don't hand over the $50,000, he'll die.
Are you sure that Kirk is in danger?
Yes, of course I am.
I really wish I could believe you, Emily.
Why do you doubt me?
Because a lot of questions have been raised.
What kind of questions?
The man you're living with, is he really Kirk Michaels?
What do you think, Frankie? Kirk old lady gonna show up with the money?
That all depends on how much she cares for Babyface here. What do you say, Babyface?
Go to hell.
Oh, come on. Tell us all about the little woman. I asked you a question.
Emily would do anything to get me out of this.
The big question is, can she really raise that 50 grand?
She will. Point is, I don't want her to.
Sounds like a death wish to me.
Oh, are you kidding? The minute you get your hands on that money, you're going to kill both of us.
Well, my feelings are hurt, Frankie. Kirk here doesn't trust us.
The only way for Emily to save herself is to stay away from this place and go to the police about you. When she does that, you're going to rot in jail for the rest of your lives.
Ease off, Frankie. What are you trying to do, kill the guy now?
I won't be happy till his trap is shut for good.
Yeah, well, there's plenty of time for that later. Get in there, Kirk. Huh?
Kirk met some people he hadn't seen in a long time. He owes them a huge sum of money. It's a gambling debt.
Oh.
They're holding him prisoner. And if I don't get the money from you and give it to them, they're going to kill him.
What?
It's true. If I don't hand over $50,000, he'll die.
Emily, are you sure that Kirk Michaels is in danger?
Yes, of course I am.
Oh, I wish I could believe you. How I wish I could.
Why do you doubt me?
Because certain questions have been raised.
What kind of questions?
Emily, the man you're living with, is he really Kirk Michaels?
Why do you ask that?
You know I have friends in the police department, and they've done some rather extensive checking.
Well, what did they find out?
They learned beyond a shadow of a doubt that the real Kirk Michaels is dead.
What else did they tell you?
My God, does it matter? I assume you know the truth as well as I do.
It isn't important what his name is.
I want to know what is going on and why you've lied to me.
Kirk is in terrible danger and he needs my help. April, I love him. That's all that matters. April, I'm sorry I had to drag you into this. I had no choice.
Emily, I know that the real Kirk Michaels was killed during the commission of a payroll robbery almost 10 years ago, and the man you say is your husband cannot possibly be the person you say he is.
That shouldn't concern you.
It shouldn't concern me. Who is he?
April, I have caused you enough grief as it is. Please just give me the down payment back, and I'll be out of your life forever.
I don't believe this, and I truly resent it. From the moment I met you, I trusted you. I even let you live in my house, a house that meant so much to me because you convinced me that you and this Kirk were the ideal couple.
I never intended to mislead you.
How can you say that? You rush into this office practically hysterical and tell me some cock and bull story about a man I know is dead. And you try to make me believe that he's being held for ransom? I don't know what to believe.
Don't you think that I would have liked for things to have worked out differently?
I think you owe me an explanation.
No. Believe me, telling you more than you know already could only make a bad situation even worse.
I want to know.
Please don't ask me any more questions, April. There isn't time. What's important now is I have to save Kirk's life.
He isn't Kirk.
It doesn't matter who he is. He needs my help. He's in danger. And I only have a few hours to save him.
Well, then you call the police.
No, I can't do that. I can't risk it. They told me if I call the police and they'll kill him, I have to handle this myself. Oh, April, please believe me. I have appreciated everything you've done for me. Every kindness. I truly hoped that we would become the best of friends.
So had I.
Just one last favor, and then I'll be out of your life for good.
I can't believe it. You really want me to give you that money.
Please help me before it's too late.
I tell you, Chief, it just gets weirder and weirder.
Yeah, this Kirk Michaels situation's becoming a real mystery.
Yeah, and this Larry Watts character going to visit Emily Michaels, that really thickens the plot.
What would he want to go see her for?
Well, he used to be a Confederate of Kirk Michaels.
Well, that's a friendship that hasn't been kept up for 10 years. What's he been up to lately?
Well, he hasn't been a model citizen, that's for sure. Look for yourself.
Yeah, I see. Grand theft auto, armed robbery. Not the sort of person you'd want for a next-door neighbor.
No, that guy gives me the creeps.
It also says here he served his time and's been out of trouble for a few years.
Yeah, he's out on parole.
Yeah, sees his parole officer every week. He's got a steady job. There's nothing here to indicate he hasn't gone straight.
No, Chief, take it from me. This guy is up to something.
You sure about that?
Yeah, call it cop instinct. Call it woman's intuition if you want to be sexist about it. It's just that it seems very strange. When the guy walked out of the Scott household, he looked really suspicious to me.
It's that suspicious little nose of yours.
No, I'm serious. It doesn't make any sense that Larry Watts would be visiting the wife of a dead man.
Maybe he never gave his condolences.
Look, whoever Emily Michaels is married to, it's not Kirk Michaels, no matter what she says.
Maybe I can provide you with an answer as to who her husband is.
You've been holding out on me.
No. Let me tell you. Last time Logan saw Emily Michaels, he came away with something a bit more substantial than just the bad vibes that you had. She gave him a copy of her elusive husband's fingerprints.
That's wonderful.
I had them wired off to Washington. They're going through the computer as soon as possible.
Hallelujah. Now we'll finally find out who's using Kirk Michaels' alias.
As a matter of fact, I'm expecting a phone call sometime tonight. I will call you and I will let you know what I find out. Is that fair enough?
That's fair enough. Now all I've got to do is figure out what to do between now and then besides twiddling my thumbs.
As I recall, you're working on more than a dozen cases at one time, so there must be some paperwork on your desk that should be on my desk. Why don't you take care of that?
Well, maybe I can do a little more digging.
Detective, I realize that some of the circumstances we're dealing with here seem suspicious, but we don't have enough evidence to justify calling this a case.
Yes, but this Kirk Michaels character has disappeared.
Nobody has declared that for the record.
Well, I can't sit around and do nothing.
And I can't send you out to investigate a non-crime. Yes, Helen. Well, have her wait a minute. I'm busy right now. Give her a magazine.
Chief, look, I'm finished here. I don't want to get in your way anymore.
Well, now, Helen, it's all right. Send her in now.
Chief, I expect to hear from you as soon as you get that report from Washington.
Chief's honor.
Have a nice night. Do the best you can.
Hello, Deborah. Thank you for opening the door for me.
Don't mention it.
Why, Chief, you found the perfect job for Detective Saxon. You're going to make a wonderful valet.
Good night, Detective. All right, what do you want?
Well, don't I get a hello kiss?
I'm too busy for that. Come on, what do you want?
I have wonderful news.
Well, make it fast, will you?
You know how much you've been looking forward to meeting my mother.
I know how much you've been looking forward to me meeting your mother.
Well, she's coming in sooner than expected. As a matter of fact, she's going to be here tomorrow. I hope you don't have anything terribly important penciled in on your social calendar.
As a matter of fact, yes, I am supposed to see the mayor in the morning, and then there is that governor's lunch in the afternoon. I had planned on flying to the White House lawn to see the president about foreign affairs later that day.
Oh, I'm so sorry, but you're just going to have to cancel them all because this is much more important.
The last time you told me about this momentous meeting, you said it was still a week off.
Well, Mother was feeling so rotten that she just had to come straight to Monticello and see her personal physician, Dr. Stewart.
Well, if she's feeling so bad, why don't you let her rest? Maybe she needs to adjust to the time change. Stop filling in her calendar. How do you even know she wants to meet me?
Derek, it will do wonders for Mother to meet you first thing. It'll be the best medicine. She can see what an elegant man I'm with.
You just wanted to meet the title.
It's the man I'm interested in.
You want to put on a show for your mother. You would love it if I arrived in a full motorcade with sirens blaring, motorcycles leading the way, me in my dress uniform with heavy metals dangling from my chest.
I love it. I love it. Only one thing. Cut the sirens. I think it would upset Jamie. Come on, Derek. What's wrong with my being impressed that my boyfriend is the chief of...
Boyfriend?
All right. Man friend. Is that better? Come on, Derek. How would you describe our relationship?
Raven, I am just one small entry in that fat little black book of yours. I'm probably not even in volume 1.
Don't you be silly.
Just another string in your bow, or should I say another scalp on your belt.
I haven't scalped you yet. Much to my chagrin. What's your problem?
I'm the shy type.
You know, I believe that's true. That's one of the things that intrigues me about you.
You like a challenge, right?
Well, most men I know are too eager to be scalped. What's wrong with you?
I am not about to be another notch on your bedpost.
I know what it is. Under that mild-mannered exterior, there beats the heart of a tiger. Only you're too afraid to let the beast out of the cage, right?
You think so, huh?
You like me, Derek. I know you do. You like me a lot. You see, I think you're just afraid to let your feelings show. You're afraid that I won't be serious.
Raven, I don't think you're serious about anything.
You want me to prove it to you? I know just the gesture.
Just what might that be?
Well, when my mother comes tomorrow, I'll introduce you not as the chief of police, but as my fiancé.
Five-minute break. All right, honey. Where's your note?
What note?
The note from Dr. Kavanaugh telling me that you're all right to take dancing lessons again.
Oh, that note. I don't have it yet.
Then what were you doing out on the floor? I don't need you to pass out in the middle of a routine. It tends to throw the others off.
I'm sorry. I just came down here to watch, honest.
Well, you weren't watching, Jody.
I know. I couldn't help myself. I just heard the music, and then the next thing I knew, I was out there.
Why aren't you at the Kavanaughs getting your strength back?
Because it gets pretty boring sitting around recuperating. So I decided to take a walk.
I thought you made a beeline to the studio.
Actually, I went to the Unicorn first.
Oh, and what did you do there? Practice your waitressing to see if you still had the knack?
No. I went down to see Kelly's puppet show. You know, he really is very good.
And while you were in the neighborhood, you decided to give your old dance teacher a break and say hello, right?
Gavin, I love coming down here. Well, you know that. Why do you have to get so upset?
Why didn't you just stay at the disco all night? I'm sure Kelly would have appreciated the company.
He had to go back to work, okay? I just talked to him for a little while, and then I left.
You and Kelly are getting pretty chummy.
I think he's nice.
Well, must be nice to have family to help with the matchmaking.
Matchmaking? What are you talking about?
Kelly was invited to the dinner party.
Maz and Nicole had to invite Kelly to that dinner party. I mean, after all, he is the Carr's nephew, and he is staying with them. I mean, what would you have liked them to have done? Invite Mike and Nancy and then tell Kelly to stay home and make a bologna sandwich for supper?
No, I suppose not. I want you to go back to the sidelines while I go back to work. And I don't want to see you so much as move your toes. Okay?
Okay.
Okay, everybody, let's go back to the wonderful world of showbiz.
Seen the last of Mrs. Michaels.
You don't think she's going to show, huh?
Well, she seemed a pretty smart dame to me. She probably realized she could live on that 50 grand a lot better without this loser.
Yeah.
She's probably on a plane right now on her way to Rio.
Well, Kirk better hope not. Or he's going to be doing a little flying of his own on angel wings.
You two make me sick.
If you ask me, the only way we'll see little Emily again is if she shows up with a SWAT team.
We see as much as one blue uniform, and it's all over for you, Michael. Who is it?
It's Emily Michaels. Let me in.
You alone?
Yes.
Well, hello. I didn't expect to see you this soon.
Kirk, are you all right? I was so afraid they'd hurt you.
You shouldn't have come back here, Emily.
Let's get down to business, sister. What about the dough?
You'll have your money. First thing tomorrow. I swear to you, you'll have every penny of it, just as soon as the bank's open.
Maybe you'd like some company.
No, you can't come. There'll be someone with me.
Who?
April Scott. The money is in her account. It's the down payment on our house.
Just how much did you tell her?
Nothing. I just told her that we changed our mind about the house and that I wanted my money back and that we're leaving.
Yeah, we'll be leaving, all right.
All right, Mrs. Michaels. You're doing the right thing. Don't listen to him.
Emily, get out of here. Go to the police. Get out.
That's enough. All right, honey. We'll take your word for it. And you can take our word for this. You go and you bring back the cash. Cash, you understand? No big bills. And when 12 o'clock comes around tomorrow, and if you're not here, we're going to close those blue eyes. For good.
Emily, go on.
Go on, you heard me. Get going, and if you're not back here tomorrow, you'll see.
All right. I'll be back. I promise you.
Oh,
Derek, don't look so worried.
Even if I do call you my fiancé, what difference does it make? I can't force you to marry me. I've already married.
I don't like the whole idea of it. Forget about it.
Derek, you can't turn me down. You can't. I've told my mother all about you. You have to be there tomorrow, please.
Not as your fiancé, I won't.
All right. I won't say anything about being married. I'll just say that you're the man of my dreams, which you are.
Chief, I got the report from Washington.
All right. Look, you're going to have to excuse me now.
All right, but you will be there, won't you?
All right, let's see. This is just the preliminary. They answered our first question first.
All right. But not Kirk Michaels, Prince.
No, sir.
Word to follow when positive identification is made.
Seems as though a harmony is hard to find. Always on my mind. And frustrated days pass without sight. The edge of night, half dark, half light. Do you think we might wake up